Alright, it's morphin' time!
Last year, I talked about a few Power Rangers crossovers that never happened. That video surprisingly got very popular. However, I only covered some of the unused team-ups I found the most interesting. Seeing as the Dino War is coming up and you guys left tons of comments, I figured I'd talk about more crossovers that became lost in translation. I'm JulioCoolio, and here are more Power Rangers crossovers that never happened. The Zordon era of Power Rangers was a tremendous feat in storytelling. Saban Entertainment managed to combine 6 different Sentai shows into one cohesive narrative. The amount of cross-referencing and recurring characters made the show feel like an expansive universe. I dare even compare it to what DC was doing with their animated shows at the time. But while world building took center stage, 2 Sentai crossovers made during these years were put aside: Car Ranger vs. O-Ranger and Mega Ranger vs. Car Ranger. In America, these crossovers would have seen the Turbo Rangers fight alongside the Zeo and Space Rangers. While there are no specific reasons why these didn't happen, I think the answer is obvious. At the time, Power Rangers would keep the same cast while changing the suits and Zords. It would have been confusing to have the Rangers team up with themselves. You could argue that the Zeo Rangers would have teamed up with the second Turbo team, but it was clear that Tommy, Tanya, Kat, and Adam were moving on after passing the torch. At least until Tommy's various appearances in the future. However, we did end up getting the episode True Blue to the Rescue. While it didn't wholly adapt Mega Ranger vs. Car Ranger, it still served as a team-up between the Turbo and Space Rangers. Does Disney even need an introduction? This massive media empire is everywhere, from theme parks to musicals and now streaming. But before making Black Panther and the Guardians of the Galaxy household names, they owned another superhero franchise. In 2001, Disney bought the Fox Family Channel, which would later become ABC Family. As part of the deal, they also gained the rights to Saban's properties, including Power Rangers. However, the House of Mouse was hesitant to keep the franchise running, as they felt it was too expensive to produce. It was only thanks to Douglas Sloan, a former PR producer working at Disney, that the show managed to continue with Power Rangers Ninja Storm. As I mentioned last time, the Disney era had a lot of missed opportunities for crossovers. While I was most intrigued by their neglect of Majin Ranger vs. Deca Ranger, they also skipped Hurricaneger vs. Gao Ranger. In America, this would have been a Ninja Storm and Wild Force crossover. Unlike other unused crossovers, there was a concrete reason why this one didn't happen. According to Power Rangers Now, the switching of companies was the primary issue. Disney fired most of the Saban production crew and relocated filming from California to New Zealand. It would have been neat to see Rangers from 2 different eras team up for an episode. It's a shame this crossover never happened, especially since both Red Rangers involved are sadly unreachable, to put it lightly. Back in 2002, there was an idea. Writer Amit Bamik wanted to create a season uniting every previous season. This would have been the Power Rangers equivalent to Justice League Unlimited, as every former Ranger would return to the battlefield. Though it would go unused, this idea would forever go down in Ranger history as a lost relic. This idea's name is Project Hexagon. The story would revolve around Tommy Oliver creating a super union of Rangers, known as the Hexagon. He would recruit 3 students of Ninjor to fight off villains all over the world, such as Scorpina, Prince Gasket, and Lokar. Additionally, these Rangers would face a rival group skeptical of the Hexagon's true intentions. If you want to read the full pitch, head to Amit's Tumblr post using the link below. While this idea of a season seems brilliant, a lot of factors prevented such an ambitious project from happening. As I mentioned, Disney acquired the franchise and wasn't sure if they wanted to keep producing new seasons. Plus, the cost of bringing back past actors, toy sales, and various other factors would have complicated production. Not to mention the controversial themes of freedom versus security and application of force, and a world where 9/11 was a recent tragedy. It doesn't seem like an overlapping event like this will happen in the future, especially since recent seasons have regulated past connections to team-ups and Easter eggs. Though it would be interesting to see the hexagon idea come to life through another medium, perhaps with a comic or animated series. The Ranger vs. Ranger concept could loosely fit in the show, if Hasbro adapts Lupin Ranger vs. Powder Ranger or Psycho Battle in the future. I think most Power Rangers fans can agree that Megaforce is the worst season of all time. Apart from the insipid writing and atrocious editing, the showrunners failed to utilize Gokaiger's anniversary elements properly. As Megaforce rushed through footage from both Goseiger and Gokaiger, it disregarded the team-ups from both Sentai. These include Goseiger vs. Shinkenger and Gokaiger vs. Goseiger. It's clear why these two didn't get adapted. Starting with Goseiger vs. Shinkenger, Super Megaforce would already have a samurai tribute. It wouldn't make sense to have a full team-up in the first season, if the second would have a cameo. As for Gokaiger vs. Goseiger, the Rangers wouldn't be able to team up with themselves. Like in the Zordon era, the cast was kept intact while the suits were changed. The only way this could have worked is if they adapted Gokaiger's Ranger Key clones, which Sentai 5 did a fantastic video on, by the way. While both of these crossovers could have fit with Megaforce's anniversary theme, there was simply no place for them in such a rushed series. I know the first two Superhero Tyson movies were never going to be adapted. After the end of Mystic Knights, Saban refused to create another big American tokusatsu show. They focused the majority of their efforts on Power Rangers, as it saw a resurgence in popularity during In Space. But seeing as they planned to revive a Kamen Rider adaptation with Power Rider, one wonders what they could have done with the Superhero Tyson movies. If Power Rider would have happened, these movies could have served as an introduction to those characters. Having a crossover with the Power Rangers would help garner some traction, similar to A Friend in Need. Furthermore, adapting Tyson Z could have brought in the VR Troopers, with some upgraded armor. And any future crossovers could have expanded where Toei didn't, by bringing in more heroes like the Beetleborgs and Mystic Knights. I doubt Hasbro will adapt Kamen Rider now since Bluefin is distributing the merchandise in the West. But they could still pull off team-ups with other heroes if they use the recent Metal Heroes crossovers. If Jiraiya could appear in Ninja Steel, who's to say we can't get adaptations of the Deca Ranger and Q Ranger movies? Or even the Q Ranger episode that tied into those two. I'll be surprised if they don't end up using the Gavin crossover from Go Busters in Season 2 of Beast Morphers. So those were some more Power Rangers team-ups that never happened. Which ones did you want to see the most? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, share, and click the bell to stay updated on the latest videos. If you want more things Coolio, make sure to follow me on social media. Well, I'm Julio, stay Coolio, and thanks for watching everyone!